mine, and welcome to my world. Today I'd like to talk about the round earth versus the flat earth. Forgive all these little stickers here because that's leftover from a video I just did on the extermination of human life on the planet. It's entitled The Last Shadow. But in this video I want to talk about the round earth versus the flat earth. So there's a lot of points to cover, so I'm gonna do it as quickly as I can, and that'll help to explain why I entitled this video the Petri Dish. So first thing we want to cover is the information that I'm going to share with you is trying to sort through all the lies. So I can honestly tell you, I don't know what the truth is. I don't know. I'm trying to figure my way through all the lies. So I'll just share this information with you. The CIA director William Casey was quoted as saying, allegedly quoted as saying, "We will know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false." Is that true? Is that not true? Well, based on all the lies that we've been told, I'm going to say that's 99.9% true. Yeah, I believe he said it. Okay, in Hebrew, and anybody can look this up, in Hebrew, the word NASA means to deceive. Do I believe that? Yeah, I put it the same ratio, 99.9. NASA lies all the time. I've proven that in another video, and I'm going to prove it again today. There are images of flat Earth, and this is one of my favorites right here. And like the United Nations has an image much like that one, much like this one, of a flat Earth, but it doesn't have all these other land masses around it. That's kind of interesting, don't you think? I'd like to know a little bit more about that. So regardless, the United Nations has an image similar to this. WHO, they have a kind of the same image, but if you look on the president's plane, you'll find the same kind of map, just a little bit different. I swear when I looked at it, I saw a couple extra land masses there that we're not familiar with. So, you know, just more lies. How do you sort through all the lies? How do you know? Well, if you look up Wikipedia, which we know to be spreading falsities, inaccuracies, so I give their information about a 70% accuracy. They show, when you look up the flat Earth, they show it more like a dish, like a bowl. It looks more like a roulette wheel to me. I don't know who's making this stuff up, but you gotta love that. So to try to sort through everything, this gentleman here, he went up in a balloon maybe 100 years ago, and he went as high as he could go, and he said it's as flat as a pancake. So, you know, do you believe him? Do you not believe him? I don't know. It sounds reasonable. It's starting to sound reasonable because there's so many things to prove that it's not, that the world is not round. So, here's another example. This gentleman, he invented the Big Bang Theory. 1927, he produced this satanic Jesuit priest came up with the Big Bang Theory. Okay. So it didn't exist before then. Now, he is a Roman Catholic priest, so I think if you check the Bible, I could be wrong, but I believe it says in the Bible 15 times that the earth is as flat as a pancake. Okay. So do you believe a lying Jesuit? Their god is the sun god Satan? They're pedophiles? Do you believe them? Or do you believe the Bible before it was rewritten or altered or changed? So the next thing I want to share is this concept. Now, I think you're going to find this interesting. Okay, this is the sun right here, and this is the earth. Now, they tell us that, and this is not to size, obviously, and they tell us that the earth rotates around the sun, right? It's not a flat disk scooting around on top of us. So you look at a globe, and I love globes. They even put on here which direction the earth rotates, in case you can't figure it out. That's nice. That's nice that they help us that way. So here it is, and let's say right now this example is January. It's the first of the year. So here we are, and here's the sun, and here's the earth, and it's rotating in this direction because it's got the little arrow on the side that shows us that. And at night, when you are at night, this side is dark. So as the earth rotates around and we're over here in darkness, when we look out at the sky, we see the universe. We don't see this half of the universe, we see this half of the universe, because this half is blocked by the sunlight. So you can't see this half of the universe. Right? Makes logical sense, doesn't it? Okay. Now we spin over here, and it's July. We're on this side of the sun. We're rotating around. Arrow says we rotate this way. And now when we look at the night sky, we're seeing this part of the night sky, not this. So every night, the night sky is going to change. It's not going to be the same. If it were the same, then it is supporting the flat earth, and if the stars are moving like this over the top of the flat earth, it's the only way that could explain that. Because this clearly illustrates we are not a little ball in the universe amongst many other little balls. It's looking like a lie. So that kind of supports the flat earth concept. When you look at that part, every night you're going to see a different night sky because it's rotating around the sun. All right, so let me clear this off, and then we'll do, I'll talk about a Petri dish. All right, so for the purpose of this video, I'd like to introduce my concept of the world, and it is a Petri dish. We live in a Petri dish. Now, if you don't know what a Petri dish is, it is basically a glass container with a lid. All right, forgive my art. You get the idea. So what doctors, scientists, mostly in laboratories, they put fungi, they put things in a petri in a petri dish to grow it. So that's the stuff right there that's just growing in a petri dish. And then they stand over the top of it and they look at it and they go, oh, look at that. Oh, let's see what it does tomorrow. Oh, yeah, this is growing. It's becoming something new. Yes, oh, look at that. It's very entertaining for them. So now I want you to think for a minute that that's kind of what we're living in. So we're down here on running amongst the fungi, and there's different fungi, and we are just this physical body is just a growth on the petri dish, and anybody over the top of it, the ones up here looking down, why, they're gods. Yeah, they're gods. Look at that. And they're, oh, look how entertaining it is down here to watch these little fungi running around killing each other and having wars, and I feel like a god up here. And if you were to look up, you would see a god. That's a god up there. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And the other facets to go with this concept are the Earth can't spin at 1,000+ miles an hour, or if a balloonist were to go up in a balloon, he'd be pulled away. An airplane would go up 35,000 feet, and they just have to hover there, and they would be around the world in no time, because the Earth is spinning so fast, right? Okay, pilots do not adjust their pitch for the curve of the Earth. Doesn't happen. All right. If it were a ball and they were to rise up 35,000 feet and the Earth is spinning, they would take forever to get where they want to go. But if it's stationary, then they just zip along, one going one way, one going the other way, going in different directions. Doesn't matter because it's not moving. If we're moving at 1,000 miles an hour and a plane's doing 500, they would be sitting there trying to get to the other side of the world and never make it. So, kind of looking like it's a flat world. The theory is that the dome is made of water. Well, that's kind of hard to swallow, isn't it? We're living in a bubble. Is that what it is? But it still falls into the same concept of the Petri dish. All right. If the world were a round ball and it were spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, water, the planet wouldn't be round, it would be oval. Not round like I just showed you, but it'd be oval shaped because centrifugal force is forcing everything out to the side, including all the water. So all the dry spots would be on the North Pole and the South Pole, right? Doesn't that make sense? Water would probably be 1,000 feet deep at the equator. So that just doesn't make any sense. NASA only has images of the round Earth, and it's perfectly round. And it's usually always the same. I love the cloud formations. They're always, you can see where they've replicated the same clouds. It's hilarious at best. The new lenses that are out that can zoom, they can cross uh, 10, 20, 30, some more than that, straight across the lake and see a city. Oh, it's a mirage. Oh, you're hallucinating. You're on LSD. That's why it's that way. Or the world is flat. They sent a laser, I think it was across Lake Michigan, straight across Lake Michigan, and landed on the other side, flat as a pancake. You know, it's like 27 miles, 47 miles, something like that. I don't remember. This is one of my favorites. The moon eclipse. The moon eclipse. All right, I got to get the calendar. I got to get the globe for this. All right, so let's do the United States, because that's the one I'm the most familiar with. Here we are. So, the little arrow here, see, direction the Earth rotates is this way. So we rotate this direction, all right? The eclipse crosses the United States, like this. Okay, so here's the moon up here, and it's blocking the sun. I'm the sun, and it's crossing like this. But yet the Earth is moving. So let me set this down. Like I can't. The Earth is moving this direction, so the Earth is moving like this, and yet the moon is going faster than the Earth. So see, NASA just doesn't have it figured out yet that the moon, the eclipse, is going in the wrong direction. It should be going this way, not this way. I'd love to hear how they sort that one out. So you got the eclipse moving in the wrong direction if in fact it were a globe. So that kind of supports the flat Earth again. So this is one of my favorites right here. You have condensation. Now, anyone who's been around water knows that when you're standing on water or standing in water and you look down and you see a fish, the fish is actually in a different location because the fluid diverts its actual location. See, a good example is you take a glass of water and you put a pencil in, you stand there and you look at it, and you can see the pencil takes a degree turn in a different direction than going straight, yet you know it's straight. So that's why when you try to spear a fish, you have to aim down. You have to alter your aim to where the fish is. So condensation is water. We live in a fluid environment. This is fluid. I am fluid. So all of this is filled with moisture. So when you're looking out through this moisture, you're looking at miles and miles and miles of moisture. You are looking through a fluid, and therefore what you see is distorted. So giving it this rounded shape. Take the moisture out of the air, we'd all die, of course, but it would probably level off, and you wouldn't be it wouldn't be so distorted. Now, another interesting thing that I came across was an encyclopedia. In the Encyclopedia of 1958 talks clearly about the flat Earth. 1958. So these are all just recent lies that we've been stuffed down our throats. All right. There was a video I watched where a rocket was sent up and it skipped across the sky, and it looked exactly like it was skipping across the water. kind of supports the Petri Dish concept. Then I came across this, and this stunned me, and I was amazed to watch it. And you can look these things up. I don't post, I don't show images, I don't put in names or anything like that below, because YouTube and Facebook will block it. So you're going to be required to educate yourself. Guy came up on a beach and he set up his camera and he says, I'm getting ready. He says, I do this all the time. I'm going to show you the sunset with clouds behind it. I thought, okay, here we go. Let's see what this is all about. So I watch it, and literally you could see clouds behind the sun as the sun was going down. I thought, am I really seeing that? He's talking and there's birds flying by and you can see the waves on the ocean, and I thought, man, if he faked this, he really did a good job. And I'm watching the sun setting, and there's clouds behind it, and it starts to go through a cloud. So, how the hell is this possible? And I watch it, and it goes right through a cloud. I didn't burn a hole in the cloud. It just went through it. And then it passed through the cloud, and you could see the light, an oval-shaped light, close around where it appeared to go through the cloud, and then there was just the light on top of the cloud, and then that just disappeared as the sun also disappeared. It didn't cut a hole through the cloud. It appeared to go through the cloud. Well, since then, I have paid very close attention to any time I see a sunset. Not a recorded sunset. So an old movie, Jason Boyd. They're in France. It's about half an hour into the movie, and there's this panning of France, and the sun is setting, and sure as shit, there's clouds behind it. So I watched. I pay attention all the time. News reports, anything like that, and I look, and sure enough, there's clouds behind the sun. So even old black and white movies, pay close attention, there's the same thing. So, they can't fake all of this. Not 40-year, 50-year-old movies. You can't do that. So that one is really interesting. So if you pay attention and you start watching movies and news reports and things like that, you look close and there's the sun. Look behind it a little bit and you'll see cloud. It's really opened up my eyes. So when you look at that, you kind of think, it's really hard to absorb all the lies and face that everything they've said is a lie. So another one, and I'll close on this one. If the earth, as they say, is full of molten rock, molten metal, a magnet, and the earth has its positive and negative pole that you can see with a compass. If the earth were a molten ball, magnetism doesn't work in liquid metal. There is no magnetism. It has to dry and be hard. So the theory of this being all dry and hard starts to make more sense, because if it were molten ball, there would be no North or South Pole. So just food for thought. Think about this kind of stuff. Look into it yourself. Please don't take my word for anything. Check it out yourself, just like I did, and see if your opinion or thoughts might change on the subject, because mine certainly have. When I saw the sun set through a cloud, and there were clouds behind it, it really, really rattled me, but it made me look more. And that's what I'm hoping this will do. This will just make you look more. Some estimate that they believe that the sun is actually 4,000 miles in the air. And based on knowing that, you know, when you're looking at a sunset, you're looking at mountains that are maybe at the most 400 miles away, and it's setting between clouds that are closer than that. I'm thinking it's not 4,000 miles. I'm thinking it's more like 400. It's a lot closer. Based on that concept, it really does set, and there's clouds behind it, which means if you can see those clouds, the sun is closer. That's something to think about. And the other thing about the moon, one more thing about the moon, and then I'll stop. If you pay close attention to the moon, the sun rises and sets in the same pattern virtually every day. Now it moves a little bit further to the north in the summer, and a little bit further to the south in the winter. And that pattern is consistent. The moon follows pretty much the same pattern, but when you look at the moon, the sun, which is supposed to be shining on the moon, making it have a quarter moon, half moon, three-quarter moon. If you look at where the moon is in relation to the curve, to the quarter moon, the sun is over here and the curve is up here, as though the sun were that way, not this way. It doesn't match. It doesn't line up. It's not the same. It's not the light source. So a lot of people think that the moon has its own light source. A lot of people think that the moon is a burned out sun, and it goes through these cycles of trying to ignite. Many of the old satanic religions worshipped a second sun in the sky. So is it true? Is it not true? I don't know. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to get feedback. See what you think about this. And I just hope the information you found interesting, and as I did, because it definitely has changed my viewpoint on the world. I just see things. We're living in a Petri dish, and the gods are the people up there on the microscope looking down at us, the fungus. So maybe just look at the world with more of a sense of humor, because I think there's one gigantic joke being played on us here. So don't take things so serious. Don't let the worshipers of the sun god Satan drive you crazy, because their beliefs are just wrong. And we all have to kind of wake up to these realities, these truths, these things that we know are correct and do not make any sense in a round world. So, flat world, round world, you tell me. All right? Thank you for watching this video, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed it.